This is Michael Kowalski, writer and performer of Mothman, True Story, and you are listening to the Unbelievers Podcast. I know you wouldn't like it.
There were several groups. One of the principal ones was the reptilians from the Orion complex.
Without any exaggeration, it was like being on fire inside.
Rats were eating them inside.
This stuff was in my mouth. It felt like it was 500 degrees. It was unbelievably hot.
My first question would be, were you a member of the Church of Satan, a card-carrying member of the Church of Satan?
I don't understand.
There's always an argument for everything, you know, just because somebody can fake something doesn't necessarily mean it's real.
And we found a life form. And that's when I started shitting my pants.
So for the person who called, I am carrying an alien.
An alien living weak covers right here, okay?
Okay.
Something is happening. What is it? That's the question. So do UFOs exist? It depends on what you mean exist.
It's the Unbelievers Podcast show. Is this a real show? We don't know. Russ and the gang are doing it tonight. Will there be more on rods? Well, there just might. It's the Unbelievers. The Unbelievers. The Unbelievers Podcast show.
Oh, hello, and welcome to Unbelievers Podcast live stream. It's me, your boy Russ Ryan, or
Russell Ryan. I said his name backwards.
What's up, everybody? Happy Friday. Welcome back. And I am also joined tonight by none of those other people in the intro, but I am joined by Pete McCarthy from Dark Sayings. Hello, Pete. Welcome.
Is it wrong to make war on other tribe?
There you go, hitting the soundboard, the vocal soundboard clips. How you doing, everybody? Hey, it's Friday night again, man. We are back after last week. Last Friday night, if you happen to catch it live or watch it with us, we got into some deception in the toy. I want to call it deception in the toy box. Turmoil. I got it here. I know. Turmoil in the Toy Box Saga, one of our favorite sagas. So we got ourselves very deep into this videotape, Deception of a Generation, which is the great show hosted by Gary Greenwald, interviewing Phil Phillips of Turmoil in the Toy Box fame. And, you know, we thought we would, that special was only like an hour and a half. I was like, we can knock this out. We spent 3 hours covering 45 minutes of it. Last week, we left a lot on the table, and I left a lot on the table. I didn't realize. So I showed this book up. You know, this is the original book here. You guys haven't seen the picture of Phil Phillips on the back of this book. Look at this. Look at this handsome boy right here.
Oh, I love the pose. Look at that. Look at that hair.
E.T.
So that's it. We got to get back in. We left a lot on the table last week. We're gonna get into it, but let me calm down. I'm getting so excited. Oh my god, I gotta calm down. It's Friday night. We're doing this a little earlier than last time, and honestly, I'm kind of glad we didn't get through the whole thing, Pete. I know we had a lot of fun covering He-Man. Oh wait, I didn't pull up all the things we talked about last time. Like
Darkseid is all powerful, more power than Jesus. He-Man has more power than Jesus.
Skeletor, the master of the universe.
So we got to see all that go down. We got to see the live, the actual video presentation of this 1984 Satanic Panic classic, Deception of a Generation. But I got to kind of sit in it for another week, Pete, I got to actually look into more stuff. And Phil Phillips actually has some more books that I didn't even know about. I'll show you one that I discovered. I discovered this. So he has a book.
You know what? Well,
so not only is he known for Turmoil in the Toy Box, he is also, get rid of that. He's also known for The Truth About Power Rangers, an in-depth look at the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, revealing the violence and philosophy behind the number one, I don't know, what does it say, in kids show, TV show in America. Truth About Power Rangers. Is that, what is that?
This raises the question there, Russ. How much gymnastic thrusting is involved in Power Rangers programs?
Well, we already know from last time, if you watched last time, that Phil Phillips is very against kicking or any kind of
he doesn't
martial artistry or anything like that. Here's a great quote I found too. Look at this. Does your child do heroic karate? Does your child summon the power of Dinozoid? I knew it.
I knew it.
Reasonable Concerns Ministry, and there he is. That's a great quote. I love that.
Reasonable concerns. You know what? I just have a few reasonable concerns. I love the soft light around his sphere. It's very Vaseline covered, you know?
He's very angelic looking in this. Yeah, I like
it.
Yeah. Hey, and anyone, just ask your kids, guys, are you guys summoning the power of Dinozoid? He knew it. I'm just going to check in with the chat. What's going on? Oh, I see Vintage Rebellion Podcast, Heroic Karate coming in there. Oh, Tina, of course. He's dreamy. Yeah, he is. Do UFOs exist? Retro JVC, it depends on what you mean exist, right? So here we are. We're back again. We're doing it. We're going to do this tonight. And this is the fun part. And I feel so bad. My buddy Chris, I think he's out there in the chat. I feel so bad. I wanted him to come on for the part we're going to get into because, of course, we know that you talk about Star Wars, and he's, kind of a Star Wars expert, toy collector guy. He was perfect, and we cut it off before he could get back. But not only does Phil Phillips have the truth about Power Rangers, he has a whole family of books I didn't know about. Look at this.
Oh, my God.
You've got Turmoil in the Toy Box. You've got Saturday Morning Mind Control, The Truth About Power Rangers, Dinosaurs, and you can't really read it because this is a very shitty picture, but it says something about Barney. It's all about Barney and Jurassic Park being bad. So dinosaurs. Well, we know he's against Dinozoids already. So Barney is against Phil Phillips, or he's against them. Horror violence. Well, that's gonna be he's doing Halloween, Satanism. These are all. If you want to own like the Time Life books, if you want to get the whole collection, you've got to get there and get all the Phil Phillips books.
Can I ask you, have you looked on eBay for those? Are they around? Because I collect books, especially dumb and rare ones. They're on there?
You can find them on those like used book flea market kind of sites.
That's how I know about that stuff.
That's how I actually found some of these images that are the truth about the Power Rangers.
I know this is a little off topic, but I have to ask you because I know that when I interviewed Brian, he owned a copy as well. Do you happen to own Unbroken Promises by Dave, and is it autographed?
I don't own it, nor do I have it autographed. The Unbroken Promises book.
I think they're all autographed.
Yeah, probably so. I do have a copy of the Gulf Breeze book, but it's autographed by Brian, so it's not. It's no Ed Walters.
Well, that's pretty good. I mean, Brian's my favorite comedian.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, man. Talk about. I know it's a little inside Unbelievers, but yeah, the rise of Nikki Glaser and him being. Her co-host is kind of cool. Like Nikki Glaser killed it at that Tom Brady roast, and he's co-hosting the show there. That just raises Brian's stock a little bit more. But I want to show something else, Pete. Last week when we did this, last Friday, the day after, I just happened to be with the family doing family stuff at Target, thinking about, of course,
Skeletor, the master of the universe.
And what do I see? The weirdest crossover toy I've ever seen. What is this? Skeletor Stranger Things toy. It's half Skeletor, half Demogorgon from Stranger Things. I don't know what this thing is. I don't know why it exists, but go to your local Target and you can pick up Skeletor Stranger Things. And great crossover.
They've been doing a lot of crossovers. They did WWE. They did He-Man with Ninja Turtles. They did this Demogorgon. So yeah, there's no shortage of crossovers going on Masters Universe lately. Anything they can squeeze a buck out of.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So we're gonna get into it, but before we do, you might be asking. We haven't put out a regular episode in a little bit of Unbelievers. We will be recording soon. We wanted to record last weekend, but Rob got to do something actually really awesome. Rob went to Contact in the Desert. Now, Pete? Are you aware of Contact in the Desert?
I've always wanted to go, so I'm very jealous of Rob for his attendance at such an event.
So yeah, Contact in the Desert is a big UFO convention. I guess I'll just call it a giant UFO convention where people like Travis Walton are there and Jeremy Corbell and all of them. But Rob wasn't just going to just hang out. Oh, because of course Rob works for Last Podcast on the Left, so he was at a booth with them. He got to meet Jeremy Corbell and all of those guys. He got to get up close. He got to meet Dave Foley from Kids in the Hall.
That's awesome.
So I want to get him on and get a little recap of all the things there. But Rob knows this show, and it was kind of really fun last weekend. Rob was sending me a lot of pictures and videos from Contact in the Desert. You know, I didn't feel like sharing them. A lot of them had his last podcast buddies in there. That's our whole universe. But when it comes to our universe, he did record one thing for me, and I want to show you, because not only were all these great UFO celebrities there, George Norrie was also.
I was going to ask if Norrie was there.
So not only, if George Norrie is going to be there, what do you think he's going to do?
Sing. Did he sing?
Let's see.
I fucking knew it.
This is Rob filming this. Rob was this close to George Norrie.
Oh, dude, I bet he smells like Brute Cologne.
Anybody want to come up and dance right up here?
Come shake your ass for George.
Now, when Rob sent me this, I happened to be sitting with the wife, and she, who has good peripheral knowledge of the show and everything. And I looked at her and I said, what do you think George Norrie is going to sing? And I'll ask you, Pete, what do you think George Norrie is going to sing?
Oh, he's either going to be Elvis or Engelbert Humperdinck.
Okay. If you're in the chat and you want to chime in before he starts belting out, what do you guys think George Norrie is up there at this stage going to sing? Yeah, I guess you can guess it or not, but here we go. Let's find out. What would George Norrie? Hold on, I got that. Now he probably smells like Ben Gay. We don't know. We may never know. Let's see.
We don't know.
And George Norrie's looking rougher than ever, man. Like, he sounds rough on his show. Like, Dre and I did a bonus episode at patreon.com/Unbelievers Podcast, where we almost we wanted to get into playing his show. So I listened to a recent Coast to Coast. He sounds like shit. Like, George Norrie is not doing well. And someone said, I was talking with someone recently about like who would be, they actually mentioned to me who would be a good new host of Coast to Coast. It's hard to think. You're like, yeah, they've got those. Yeah, well, of course, yeah. I'll do the weekends. You'll be the main host. Let's do it. But
let's do it.
I would love it. But someone brought up to me, who would be a good host of Coast to Coast? That's hard to say.
Who's that?
A good host of Coast to Coast? Dan Aykroyd. And I couldn't agree more. I think Dan Aykroyd would be way better than George Norrie. He knows the stuff. He actually cares about it. He's getting a little old, though. If it would have been like 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah, that's my only point of contention. He's a little too old.
I like this. Okay,
he could do weekends.
Yeah, I would love it because he's been, of course, a guest. Dan Aykroyd has, but I think he would be a good host. Silent Echo, he's going to sing the Coast to Coast theme. Which one? Yeah, I can see George Norrie doing that. But all right, someone's Retro JVC says Elvis. You said Elvis or Engelberg or Humperdincker. Let's see what George Norrie decides to belt out. Maybe he's got something new up his sleeve. Let's find out.
No way. Oh, feedback.
Hello. You're not shy.
Oh my God.
That's Rob.
Here we go.
Only fools
Tone down the energy, George.
Falling in love with you.
The warp flying by.
Shall I stay?
You called it.
Would it be a sin?
This is the sin. I want to pause this. Oh, here we go.
Oh, you gotta wait till he gets to the bridge. It's too late now. We're too deep in. Are they dancing? Are they slow dancing?
Yes.
Oh shit. There it is!
Wake up, Snorri!
Darling, so it goes. Something.
Oh no, what's happening?
Yes, Andy Hammerhog. Woo! Rob wooing. Come on, man.
my whole
Yeah, I'm falling asleep. Actually, I came in with so much energy. I will let it play through because
falling in love
how old this guy's gonna be? Oh, he's
like a river flow.
there is nobody.
Why is he doing
here,
that
and there's
twice? No, yeah, there's nobody there.
There's only a few seconds left of this because this song is like so long. There's only a few seconds left of it. But yeah, let's get an idea of this room. Otherwise, like, hey, why don't you come up and dance? He only knows the lyrics like 3 songs. This is one of them. He's used to playing these. This is Contact in the Desert, folks. Rob sent me a bunch of cool videos of Contact in the Desert and this little area where bands were playing. There was like a Poison cover band played one night. Like, it was real. I want to go to Contact in the Desert next year. Maybe we'll make that the Unbelievers Dark Sayings meetup where we can all get ourselves out there.
Oh, dude, let me know. I'm all about it. Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
I'm no spring chicken. But what's the average age of Contact in the Desert? Am I too young to go to Contact in the Desert?
We all are. But I think we're the perfect age, actually, to appreciate, because we're the only ones old enough to know all the old fucks that are there. And that's it. There's no one. And yeah. So there's a few more seconds. I don't know. I like how Rob gives a little perspective here of the road.
Surely to the sea, darling, so it goes. Some things are meant to be. Take my hand.
And Rob ended. Rob himself stopped recording it at that point. He couldn't even take any more. So I just want to give a little update. That's the show update. Last week we didn't record because Rob had the honor of going to Contact in the Desert, which is very cool. Very, very cool. Oh, look at Unbelievers, definitely. You and Pico next day. Yeah, we'll go. We all want to go.
Dude, next time, the one coming up is on a boat. The next one. Contact at the Sea or something. Like, it's on a boat. That's the next one.
God, I don't know if I want to be on a boat with Joe Generaton.
I don't want to be in a boat. I don't want to be on a boat at all. I'm not trying to get Legionnaire's disease.
Jesus Christ, I couldn't imagine what's going on at that thing. So, but we're going to get back into it now. Back to the topic at hand. We are going to finish this. I swear to God, we're closing the loop. Deception of a Generation. I'm going to put the stupid VHS in, and we will pull it up. And hey, check it out. We had this new shout out to our buddy Josh for making this cool little. Is it too much? Is the background too much going on? I like it. I think it looks cool.
I think it's rad, dude. I think it's time to pull it out, stroke it a few times, let her rip, and go.
Yeah, whenever I get boring, just watch that UFO fly over me. But we're going to switch over now. Again, I'm pulling out the old TV. I got the VHS in. And let's jump in now because now it is time for part 2 of Deception of a Generation. Let's go. Oh, I got to fix the tracking again.
Oh, there you go.
All right. Should be good.
Hello, I'm Gary Greenwald, and today we're back with Phil Phillips, my special guest from Texas. Phil's a young man who's done an expose on occultic cartoons and toys that have come into our stores. Also, he's dealt with a lot of the comic books that are actually programming our children for witchcraft and the occult. And I asked Phil earlier how we got into this area, and he said that way back in the days of Ken and Barbie dolls, when there was a humanism coming into all of the different toys that were made, we began to move this direction. And I thought maybe we would start out today by looking at Ken and Barbie. I mean, who would think anything could be wrong with Ken and Barbie? But let's look at it from that aspect. Ken,
I mean, all right, yeah. So I think this is about where, now look, last time it was a 3-hour stream. It was definitely, we got a little messy towards the end. I think we cut it off a little bit, but let's be completists. Let's watch this whole thing. And I do have the, where's the?
From that aspect, Ken, or Phil, what is it about Ken and Barbie here?
He thought he was Ken. I love
Ken,
that part.
Phil, yes? Oh, no.
And you're right, Gary Greenwald. When he looks at you, there is a weird quality about his eyes. It almost looks like the Michael Jackson Thriller kind of eyes. Like I don't know what it is.
It's a 1,000-yard stare. I wouldn't be shocked to learn that Gary Greenwald had seen a war zone or something of that equivalent. He's probably around the right age for it. So yeah, like that. Like
what's like the gatekeeper? I was hoping I had the Jeremy Leonard of Thriller. I don't. I do have this. Where he's looking in here, so all right, there's a little blimp for you. All right, let's get into Ken and Barbie. Ken, all right, take it away, Ken. I mean,
or Phil, what is it about Ken and Barbie here?
Well, obviously, looking at the two, they're perfect American dream type people. You know, Barbie is absolutely perfect. Perfect body, perfect hair, perfect clothes, perfect car, perfect house. And she has a perfect
car. I
boyfriend.
didn't even mention her ass.
The absolute image.
Ken looks like he needs a chin strap for that hair.
The house, the car, everything material.
He looks like a toy too. He actually looks more like a Ken doll. That other Ken looks weird. I thought Ken had blonde hair. So
dude, he looks great. He's got the Pantene Pro V hair going on. Like I'm telling you, this guy, he's a really
I'm not doing the teeth bit this time either.
There's no reason to do. He's got a face like a butterball turkey, dude.
Them, it just flows right along. And Dr. James Dawson puts it this way: Barbie has absolutely no blemishes except for "Made in Hong Kong" stamped on her rear end.
Right.
Oh. But there's someone who's a little more emotionally involved with Ken and Barbie than either me or Dr. James Dobson, and that would be Bill Barton. Now, most people don't know who Bill Barton is, but Bill Barton was the co-designer of Barbie. In a recent interview with Newsweek magazine, he contributed the current outbreak of anorexia nervosa, the self-imposed starvation syndrome, to the popularity of Barbie in the late 50s and early 60s.
Is that right?
Yes.
And you mean the children were actually getting involved? Little girls would see Barbie being so perfect, so slender, and their reaction would be, I've got to be like her, so they'd start starving themselves.
Yes, this man said that this doll creates unreal beauty expectations in little girls, and he has never given one of these dolls to any of his granddaughters.
That's how much he believes in this.
Yes.
And she is...
I mean, his daughters had a ton of them. It's the granddaughters you have to worry about.
Right. You know, well, that's what you got to do.
I don't remember, and I like that in this episode he's way more. This is 1984, and he's dressed like Guido the Killer Pimp in this with his collar popped down, which is so weird. He's such a religious dude. The way he dresses, it's like this wasn't 1977 disco era. This was 84. Like this fat had gone. He just wants to look like a player on TV.
He's got a whole Johnny Mozzarella thing going on. I think you're absolutely right. I'm sure he smells of basil and olive oil to some degree. So yeah, I mean, who knows? What's his name again?
Gary Greenwald, Phil Phillips,
Gary Greenwald. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe he's not of Italian descent. So I'm going to go back with the Brute Cologne kind of thing. Probably that going on. But he does seem like he's probably a ladies' man who cleaned up his act. I'm sure during the 70s he was playing in the snow and dabbling around with the babes. And then he found Jesus, and now he hates toys.
Yeah, most of the people who get the most religious are the ones that like party their ass off.
Dude, I used to be a piece of shit.
Just done the most debauched stuff, and he's like, all right. Yeah. Now I'm going to tell you how to live. And he's looking at that Barbie doll in an uncomfortable way. Let's move on.
It's a perfectly made little girl, and this is where there's a little danger in the Ken and Barbie dolls.
Well, Barbie perfectly okay for early adolescent teenager, but that's not who plays with them. It's
perfectly
young little girls, and they should be playing with soft mothering type dolls, learning mothering qualities instead of learning fashion and
of course
that type of thing at that age.
We're not going to say that there's anything really wrong with these dolls, except that every doll a child plays with conditions him to vicariously live his life through that doll. And what was that statement you made earlier, that God spoke to you and said what dolls would do?
Well, children project themselves with their imagination into toys to give them life, character, abilities, and talents, and they set the surrounding around it. You see, toys are symbols that guide children through different situations, and these symbols set the stage for their qualitative judgments later on in life.
Well, let's go from there. We're talking about humanistic type of toys. Let's go into the more blatantly occultic things.
Yes. He said, God isn't master of the universe. He-Man is.
It's okay. So he's already established in that first episode, like, well, kids project themselves onto toys. So any toy they get, they're pretending they're living in that world. That's what they want to be. And I should mention this. Now, I kind of told Pete that I would like cut out. I know they're gonna play some cartoon bits in this. Last week when we did this, we didn't get any any kind of formal trouble on YouTube, but you guys did call it. I got an email after last episode that flagged every cartoon that was played in here. Not only the cartoon, the actual episode number of each one of they played like He-Man ones and all of the cartoons that were played. YouTube was just like, yeah, we saw that you did this. You can't monetize your video. It's like, well, we're not monetizing it anyway. So thanks a lot. But I didn't cut them out. They are going to play some cartoon clips and we're just going to say roll them anyway because I didn't get in trouble last time. I'm not getting in trouble here. I don't know. We can't monetize it. I don't know, man. You know, super chat, whatever, if you want. That's fine. It's the only way we can kind of monetize this. But I don't really care about that. Let's get into some occultic shit, man. This is it.
Stonehenge.
Let's get to Stonehenge. God damn it.
I remember a couple years ago, I preached a message for television called Dungeons and Dragons. And in it, I dealt with the occultic overtones, the witchcraft, the demonism, the spells that were perpetrated through the game Dungeons and Dragons. And I felt at the time that children were identifying so closely with those little pieces in the game that we even had newspaper clippings of children that had dropped out. Some they thought had even committed suicide because of the game, and even more has come to light since then. And I wanted to show a clip from Dungeons and Dragons right now showing the occultic overtones of the game. So here's from the cartoon show that's now come from the game. Here it is.
Now, this cartoon, I guess I am of a certain age where I did like the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon. I've never played Dungeons and Dragons. I've never had a friend group that was into it. Never got into the lore of it. I did like the cartoon when I was a kid. And I know, oh, God, they would hate this. They did release Dungeons and Dragons cartoon toys in the last year or so. So they released all, and that movie came out. So that was a recent movie. It was kind of based on the cartoon, loosely. I never saw it. I don't know. Did you see the Dungeons and Dragons movie, Pete?
I watched the first 15 minutes of it and promptly fell asleep and never got the chance to finish it. But in my own defense, I do that with every movie I watch. It's like, oh, let's watch a movie. You know?
Yeah, that's why you got to have like standbys at night. I have Kids in Hall, Reno 911. Just put them on, pop out. All right, let's get into it. All right, I guess roll them. It's time for a cartoon and YouTube. Yes, you can send me an email tomorrow. Let's go.
It's Dungeons and Dragons.
Excellent. Soon the repairs will be completed, and your work will be done now for. Your ship shall make me more powerful than ever. Well, what is it? The lost children.
I mean, this is blatantly demonic and evil. I love that they picked the most demonic clip you could think of. This evil lord and his ghostly black spirit here flying around behind him. So, yes.
Well, I know you're pretty spot on.
Yeah, if you're gonna pick no clips of the goofy wizard and the kids trying to like get around, no roller coaster shots or any of the other stupid stuff that was in this cartoon. This is the most evil. Yeah, they're evil characters. That's what they never get. Like, no kid wanted to be this. That's what we keep saying.
Spotted in the forest nearby with dungeon masters, young ones. Good. Now we can eliminate them all.
No.
What?
If you harm those children, I will work no more.
Is that so?
Your threats.
Yeah, shut up, Moltar. I think I said that last time. Now I'm sorry. It's all coming back to me.
See that they are captured and bring them to me. But go and do not harm them.
Well, Phil, we've been watching a character here called Venger and another black creature called Shadowkeeper. What do they represent to you?
Well, I believe that it's a direct depiction of Satan and his demon powers and demon friends.
I was going to say friends.
That go forth for him. I believe that Dungeons and Dragons is a direct quote from the pit of hell, if you want to call it that.
Nice.
It is a
pit of hell.
mind-bending game, a mind-changing game. It is
Mind-bending.
involved with all kinds of occult and pagan religion. The player's handbook includes over 160 pages of spells to be cast.
Let's look at one of the handbooks here. This is the Advanced Dungeons & Dragons, the Monster Manual. And it's full of monstrous figures and actually those creatures that
really
the children
creepy
can imagine. And children's imaginations are very active, aren't they?
Yes, very much so.
Now, let's look at another one of these.
Okay, so I want to say, I know that Phil Phillips himself has done an episode of this, whatever, Eagle's Nest, Eagle's Food for the Eagle's Nest. He's done a show already, like talking about, and of course, everyone in the religious, sector went against Dungeons and Dragons, and he was one of those people. So he can't wait. Now, the funny thing is, there's no Dungeons and Dragons toys at the time, so he's just trying to he's kind of like really shoving this in there because he knows he can actually talk about it.
You're right. Yes and no. There were no Dungeons and Dragons toys based on the program that was aired on TV, but there were toys based on the game. Like you could get what's his name?
Right, like figures that you paint. And stuff, right?
Well, no, there were action figures. But they weren't based on the game. They were based on the game, not on the TV show.
And I think you and I both realized that there was a base with the snake head.
The play set, the snakehead play set. Yeah.
And we realized I actually owned that when I was a kid. I had no idea it was a Dungeons and Dragons toy, but I did own that thing. Yeah, I should have pulled a picture of that. That thing's dope. We talked about last time. We actually found it after the episode. All right, jumping back. All right, I take it back. They're Dungeons and Dragons toys. Get them, Phil.
This is where we go into the Dungeon Master's Guide. Who is the Dungeon Master?
Well, the Dungeon Master is a person who plays God in the game. And
he's the biggest nerd of the group. He takes all the notes. He writes the world.
He is the god of the game, and
God of the game.
Situations in the game, controls the way the players are moving through the dungeons, and then if he doesn't like someone, he can play pretty much against them.
Do you think parents are aware that when the children play the game, that demon spirits are involved?
I do not think that many parents are aware of what's inside the game. In fact, in my presentation, I show many pictures from the inside of the books just to show the images of this game. I mean, the gruesomeness of this game and the occult link to it.
Well, I know that when I did my message, and this has happened.
Can he close his mouth? Just watch. He's always like...
He's breathing through it.
There's a character. There's some comedic characters always just like has his mouth like this. Like I can't put my finger on it right now. But let's watch. Let's see if Phil Phillips can actually close his mouth at any point.
I have letter after letter where people took the pieces. Now there's sixes involved in the pieces of the game, but they take the pieces of the game. They would throw them in the incinerator or the fireplace, and screams would come out because there seemed to be some kind of spiritual forces inhabiting those pieces.
That's badass.
And children would drop out of life. They didn't want to study anymore. What are the pieces, for instance?
Well, this game affects the most intelligent of our children. And the pieces include white witches, wizards, necromancers, the clerics, that type of thing. It includes evil wizards. It's a white versus black witchcraft. The good versus evil is white versus black witchcraft.
Spiritual race war.
The writer of Satan's Bible says there is no such thing as white witchcraft.
Well, being a Satan
There's no such thing as white witchcraft.
Yeah, he should know that all power from Satan is going to create evil and havoc. And what it shows is it shows a good versus evil, that good has about the same equality of power as evil, and they come head on in collision, where that's not the outline we see in the Bible. We see a good that is all-powerful, that has taken dominion of the world, that created the world.
Yes.
And we see Satan, who's been defeated.
Absolutely. And that's what we want our children to know, that Jesus is greater than Satan. He has won all the way. He's the
I
conqueror.
never said that.
Now, let me read you one quick letter here. The cassette... this is a letter that came from a lady that had heard my cassette on Dungeons and Dragons, and she just mentions how it changed the personality of her young boy.
Now, let's take a second here and think about this. So,
all right.
We live in the modern age where you can just put something out, and if we're doing it, you guys can comment on it immediately. Say, if this was happening now, this probably would be, part of a live stream. And speaking of part of live stream, if they wanted us to get it to react to it quickly, they would send a super chat like this one. Ginger Viking Jesus, $5. Maybe I missed it in the previous installment. How did they demonize Optimus Prime? One of the most valorous characters that existed in the 80s. Stick around. Optimus Prime, I believe, does show up in here. Thank you so much for the $5. A Ginger Viking Jesus. Really appreciate that. Love that. And now, but I want to talk about how, see that.
How did I forget how they demonized the Transformers?
We're going
to get to that. We didn't get to it yet, did we?
This is in part 2. We will be getting to this tonight. And that's a perfect example of how instantly we can react to things. Now, think about Gary Greenwald. He had to make audio cassettes. Make the show with a P.O. box number where people send in, get the tapes in the mail, listen to them, process them, write him a letter. The letter goes to him. He has to read the letter. It was so complicated back then. Now I know it sounds stupid, but
it was better.
So
it was better. It was way better.
It was just simpler times. Everything just was so streamlined. Yeah, it was like by the time he would react to it, you wouldn't even care anymore. It's like who gives a shit? But there's nothing he could do about it. He didn't know where the future was coming. So I'm gonna play this letter. He's gonna play, and I'll just talk off for 2 seconds.
Is he still active now? Can you find more Gary Greenwald stuff?
I have more Gary Greenwald stuff.
Oh my God, is it new?
Not exactly, but he is still out there. He is still out there, but not in the same way. But I'll tease something when we get to the end of this. Speaking of which, I gotta play this. We'll be here all night, but I'm gonna jump just 2 seconds. But here, let's listen to this.
She says the cassette from the Eagle's Nest especially helped me with my boy who was involved with D&D at a private high school which promoted D&D as part of their attractive strategic game club. She says for a period of about 6 months, we lost Tonio, our son. He became rebellious, disrespectful, lethargic. He made sneering faces at us and carried with him a very hostile spirit that could be felt wherever he went in the house. After much sorrow, Tonio finally let go of D&D only after his father forbid the game as his day's pastime. He couldn't make it his day's pastime. She said he had put aside all studies for this game. Now, I want to say that the reason the danger comes into this is that not only is it a game now, but the cartoons, which the children even identify more strongly with, are now coming up with D&D cartoons of the occult. Let's see another segment of a D&D cartoon where there's blatant occultism and witchcraft. Here's the cartoon.
Oh, God. Here we go. Getting in trouble again. So, yeah, what do you think about that letter, Pete? I can't hear you. What happened? Your audio's off. I think you got muted.
Oh, I was clearing my throat and I hit the damn thing.
Got it.
Look, it's blatant occultism, dude. It's occultic. It's occultic.
All right. It's cartoon time again. I guess roll them. YouTube. Get your
drop
eyes
it.
on
Let's see.
Get your eyes on it. Yeah. All right. Let's do it. Here.
I've come from the children. We're going to rescue you.
Have thoughts about them.
Oh no! Don't trust him!
Do not worry. You will soon be joined by your friends.
It's been over an hour now. I think she's in trouble.
I think she was in trouble when she left.
In truth, there's a 97% chance that something unexpected has happened to your friend.
Oh, brother.
Ovino is right.
Dungeon Master!
In fact, you are all in great danger.
No kidding.
However, through defeat, you shall find victory.
What's that supposed to mean?
Well, we're seeing here, Phil, all kinds of demonic creatures. Anything else you want to say?
There's all people. They're all people. What do you mean demonic creatures? Everyone's a dude or a lady.
They don't even give the context, the fact that this cartoon was about a bunch of kids who, went on a roller coaster and somehow ended up in like an alternate world, a parallel universe where Dungeons and Dragons exist and all that.
Yo, did you ever check out the video that ends it?
What do you mean?
There's a car commercial from Brazil. Yeah, it wraps up the end of it's the ending. Like they get on the roller coaster, they go back, like they come home. It's live action. It's awesome.
I will check that out. As a kid, I was waiting for that episode with bated breath. I actually liked that cartoon a lot, and
so did I. I was a big fan.
And I still had no interest in ever playing Dungeons and Dragons.
No, me neither. Like I'm not trying to do
the
math. Like Dungeons and Dragons to me is like doing math for fun. I'm not trying to do that, dude. Like you can kick rocks.
All right, here we go. Retro JVC, thanks for the $4.99. I bet Gary has a kick-ass 8-track collection. Oh, yeah, you can't dress like that and not have a kick-ass 8-track collection. I actually am kind of a fan of 8-tracks myself. I'll put this up while here. I like 8-tracks. I don't have an 8-track player anymore, but I have my childhood family. I have the old 8-track case. It's like this spinning case that fits all these 8-tracks. And I still have it till this day. I've been holding on to it forever, trying to get a new 8-track player. It's got some cool ones in there. It's mostly a bunch of garbage. It's mostly like these weird Cadillac compilations of terrible songs. But there's stuff like the first Black Sabbath on 8-track. And there's a couple of cool things, a couple of gems in there that I'm happy to have. I dig the 8-track format. I kind of grew up listening to it. I know I've mentioned it, but I was raised by grandparents, so I kind of felt like I grew up in an earlier age because it was all old. Think about growing up. If your grandparents were your mom and dad, that's kind of what I grew up in. So I had to grow up in the world of the 60s and 70s, even though it was the 80s when I was a kid. But I love 8-tracks, and yeah, I bet you he's got a kick-ass collection. I'm gonna pop in. Let's see. We gotta have some reaction to this. What is going on
about Dungeons and Dragons?
Well, the fact is that this toy and cartoon series is bringing the occult to younger and younger children in a very real way.
Well, let's go on to some other occultic figures. I see one on the screen here, which we call Black Star. Can you tell us about him?
Black Star is probably one of the most blatantly occultic toy series on the market today, because with every figure such as Kadar, the invincible wizard that you're seeing here, comes its own glow-in-the-dark alien demon.
Whoa, Kadar, the invincible wizard, and this glow-in-the-dark alien figure with his, I don't know, weird rod piece going on there. Look at that thing. Man, I don't know this. This was kind of an obscure one. It's like
is there any new information on rods?
Yeah.
Yes, there is.
Look at this thing. I don't remember Kadar. I don't know if anyone remembers this series here. Let me see. Yeah, got any Conway Twitty? I don't know. Maybe I'll have to look through them. I should actually go reach it and show it since 8-tracks have been brought up, but I don't know. I don't remember this show. Black Star, he really hates this thing. He hates any kind of villain in a show, especially if they're demonic looking. And this thing this is a kind of cool glow in the dark alien. I wouldn't mind having this thing. Go check eBay. Let's get some prices on this guy. But here we go. Yeah, now we're talking about Black Star, Pete, the cartoon Black Star, which I have no memory of the toy line or I don't remember any of this. So here we go.
This glows in the dark?
Right. Now, the average child will own $72 worth of any toy series they get involved with, which means that they could own 4 to 12 of these glow-in-the-dark alien demons here. Now, can you imagine a child doesn't clean up his room at night or displays the toys on a shelf, and he wakes up looking at this thing glowing at him in the dark?
I can't believe that we could have toys that are absolutely... even the eyes look like they glow here.
Yeah.
And again, the host, I guess he does a good job as a host, but he acts like he's never seen anything in the world. Like, he didn't grow up in the 60s where, like, Monsters and Universal Monsters were still very, very popular. A bunch of kids were making Universal Monster building kits. Monsters and everything have been part of kid lore forever. He would have grown up with horror comics in the 60s and 70s. And all that. I don't know why he's surprised by any of this. These are the two most sheltered motherfuckers to ever get.
Here's the thing. In context, here's something that blew my mind, because I found this out a couple years back, and I never really considered it. The whole concept of the teenager was a new thing in like the 40s and 50s.
Yes.
Because before that, you were in the mills or the mines or married. So
there was nothing made for you. There was no mass production of anything made for you. There was little kid books, and then you're an adult, and that's it. Go to school, work.
By the time you were 10, you were an adult. You're 10, time to go to work. Oh, you're 15, time to find you a wife.
And it happened to coincide with the rise of like Universal horror movies, which were like a big part of kids for decades. Like all those monsters are still around. I still love those monsters.
I mean, those monsters are great. I'm a big fan myself. I've always been a fan of Universal monsters, but they're talking about these demonic imp-like creatures versus like Boris Karloff in a wig. That's apples and oranges.
glow-in-the-dark aliens in your room, and if you didn't clean your room, you'll be in for a real frightening that night. All right.
Well, in our last installment, they claimed that the D&D pieces screamed.
No, they said that just now too.
In the fire.
When you throw them in the fire, or the dice, I think it was the dice. Like if you roll a 6, you throw it in the fire, and the dice scream at you. Okay, yeah, that happened. It wasn't just plastic like popping or whatever. All right, got it. Sorry, I was looking at our own. I forget that there's private chat. I got a little distracted. I was like, wait, what was that? Oh yeah, me too. All right.
It's totally occultic. You know, before we go on to this one, let's look at a couple of occultic games.
Okay,
I have a few here that we picked up at the toy store.
All right, it's game night, Friday night.
Picked up a few. Now this is the Infactables, Mystic Warriors of Change, and the faces change in these, don't they?
Right.
Is this Visionaries?
It's a man to beast.
Oh no!
What the hell is Infactables? What kind? Where do they find this? This is like some bootleg dollar store shit. I've never heard of Infactables. I was around this time. I don't know what this is.
I bet we could write a jingle for it in like 10 seconds.
Infactables.
Yeah.
You have no face.
Yeah, coming soon to Zaire. So
bring your big boy pants and your credit card.
All right, let's learn more about Infactables. The Infactables, man, and maybe that's a series you can resurrect. The Infactables universe going on. They actually do look kind of cool.
Than that Star Wars business. They could get they could do any worse, you know.
It's just a He-Man ripoff, and yeah, I go check out eBay, see what the prices on Infactables are. These got to be rare because who the hell knows what this?
I've never heard. I mean, I'm into toys too, but like I've never heard of Infactables.
I want every toy he has. Like I like the toys already. Any toy that Gary Greenwald gets his little hands on, I'm hoping he. Man, if he had an eBay thing where he's selling his old stuff, that'd be great. Because we already talked about last week. Yeah, it's very, very Egyptian looking. We know we want to get his hands. We know he has his Snake Mountain. That's the goal. That's the grail. Gary Greenwald's Snake Mountain, where he does his famous Skeletor. All right, no, sorry.
And said, "Mommy, God isn't master of the universe."
Infactables are. Now, no kid ever said that because no kid knows what the fuck Infactables are.
Never even heard of that. I don't know much about this toy.
No one does. Yes, Green Finhawk. This is alternate timeline toys.
Another man to beast transformation where you can turn around the head inside, and these seem to be very occultic in their overtones.
Of course, transforming from a man to an animal is a very occultic and new age concept.
Let's look at another one here, which we found in the store called the Sectors, Warriors of.
Oh, these Sectors were rad.
All right, so I don't know these guys. Sectors?
Oh, dude, I know Sectors. Dude, I think they just re-released. It was either Mego or Super 7 or somebody like that re-released Sector toys. Oh, yeah, dude, they re-released the Sectors. Like, it was like a puppet of a bug with like battery operated, and then you had these like I guess 7-inch figures of like bug men, and like some are good, some are evil. Good guys blue eyes, bad guys red eyes.
Well, they're all evil. They're all evil, Pete. You don't have to realize.
Well, according to these guys, yeah, they're all evil. I mean, come on, yeah, they're bug.
All right,
men,
we need a universe where the Unfaceables fight the Sectors. That's a great little franchise.
These things are all evil. I've read many books and collected many toys about evil.
All right, here we go. Let's meet the Sectors. Meet the Sectors.
And it says, now the battle is in your hands. Very interesting. Oh. Can they see that? Let me take this out of the box.
Very interesting.
And I'll show you that it...
Yeah, I almost questioned. I was like, does he try to keep these toys mint? Is he like, did you secretly that into it? But no, he does take them out of the box. So let's see. This is the first ever unboxing video that you've ever seen. And it took place in 1984.
Yeah, you're right.
It really might actually be a toy unboxing, right?
Who else was doing this before that? Nobody. Like, toys were for kids.
Exactly.
Actually does some tricks. Now, this is where a child can identify with this and actually take this out of the box and
identify with this
put it
bug
on his
glove.
hand, no less. So let me see if I can put my hand in here.
What the?
Oh, no.
Oh, it fits like a glove.
Unbelievable. Get my fingers in the different glove parts here. And this creature actually begins to open its mouth and move its legs. Isn't that incredible?
And so they can make it take on life.
It says here that it actually makes the wings move. So let me look at that.
Yeah, dude,
Whoa.
sectors. Yeah, that's as cool as it
And do
gets.
you remember those?
All right, this is your screenshot moment here. Sectors, I guess. I don't know. This is a cool
Look
toy.
at his face, man. He's got a jaw you could cut a roast beef on. Like, that's a
Those
chiseled
eyes
jaw.
again. Those eyes again.
Yeah,
dude.
smoldering.
I don't like it, yes.
Smoldering. This dude was a real lady killer in his day. Before he found Jesus, you better
So the
watch
box
out.
was the box was a bit of a fake up because he already had the batteries in. He knew how to hold it and do it. Oh, you saying you had
Oh,
sectors? You had one of these things?
I had one of those, yes.
Damn. These are
Yeah.
awesome. These are
I was
awesome.
a kid at just the right time, dude. Just the right time.
Yeah, you hit it just right.
I
I think
hit
a lot
all
of
the
kids
sweet
think that.
spots.
Most kids are wrong. They think that. I hit a sweet spot at the
Yeah.
beginning too, but I missed
Yeah.
sectors. Damn it. I did hit mask though. Mask isn't covered though.
Mask is great, dude. Like, there.
Yeah, so we can talk toy. Yeah, exactly. Like I'll never get this out on the regular show. Yeah, Mask was a great toy. I had like all that.
There's
stuff.
a band called Punk Rock Factory. They're on YouTube and they're on Spotify. They cover all these great classic TV themes.
Oh,
and they
the Mask theme?
They kill the Mask theme, dude. They destroy it.
I'm
They
gonna
just
go find
level it with killer leads, dude. Hot licks, like they.
All right,
really
send me the
level
link.
them,
Send me the link.
yeah.
I want to hear
I'll
about
send
that
it to you,
tracker.
yeah, it's awesome.
And Spectrum and everything.
He's
All right,
gonna
all right.
lead the mission.
And he's got supervision. All right, let's get back to
Book
sectors.
of Revelation about the flying beast with the riders on them.
Oh yes,
The flying beast with the
Oh,
riders
that's
on them.
not in the Bible at all. That's made up. They have never read anything they're talking about.
Sure, it looks like it.
Okay,
Quote it. Quote the passage. Yo, he's not. That's not real. The flying beast with the riders on them. Yo, what passage is that? I dare anybody to find me that Bible. There are no flying beast with the riders on them. There are locusts the size of helicopters, but there are no flying beasts with riders on them. There are 4 horsemen, but they are horsemen. I don't know. This guy's just pulling stuff out of thin air. Baloney. Bohonky.
This is why you're here, Pete, because I knew you could call out any Bible things they got wrong, according to Toys here, where they're trying to put this on here. Well, the Bible says there will be flying spiders with guys on them that look like Cobra Commander ready to fight. And he's like, no, he never. Wait, all right. God damn it. Yeah, God is looking down at this video saying,
I never said that.
Thank you,
Yo,
God.
Dude, what if God was one of us, man? What if he was a stranger on the bus?
Roy is not this man's real name.
All right, let's.
I cannot believe it. Well, if this is the direction that the occultic toys are taking, where are we going? Where do you think it's going to?
Well, it's going to bring the occult into every home, and you know that the Lord said some very powerful.
There's somebody
things
walking
in
by. There's a car
Deuteronomy
parked out
chapter
there.
18, verses 9 through 11 on the
Not a
occult, and I'd
set.
like to read those scriptures.
Yeah, what does
now,
God
if we
say?
could. When thou art come into the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, thou shalt not learn to do after the abominations of those nations. There shall not be found among you anyone that maketh his son or his daughter to pass through fire, or that useth divination, or an observer of the times, or an enchanter, or a witch, or a charmer, or a consulter with familiar spirits, or a wizard, or a necromancer. For all that do these things are an abomination unto the Lord.
So, actually, another scripture says that if you bring an abomination or an accursed thing into your house, then you will be accursed like it is.
He is
You better
fucking
believe it.
over.
You better believe it.
He is fucking over so many kids with that statement. He's like, well, I can say it right here. You can't bring anything like this in your house. And super religious parents would make their kids suffer for this stuff, man. And like, thankfully, this doesn't go on as much anymore. But honestly, kids don't really give 2 shits about toys anymore. They're, you know,
Well, kids don't give 2 shits about demons, devils, gods, or anything anymore.
Right.
Nobody gives a shit about anything at all anymore. It is a free for all, dude. It's the end times.
And we have the advantage of this being from the past and us being the children of this who were like did get all these toys, and like you can look back and go, no, maybe I don't know if it affected us. Well, I'm not a warlock. I'm not a wizard. I played with He-Man and stuff that they're going to talk about soon. I might do some light sorcery. Hold on. I won't get too deep. I know Pete is pretty deep into sorcery.
I am deep into sorcery. I officially stand up now and declare myself the Stone Cold Steve Austin of the paranormal world.
Oh shit! All right.
That's it. I wish I had a sound effect of glass breaking. That would have been perfect for that moment.
Wait, hold
but
on.
I'm
Do
sorry.
it one more time.
I'm the Stone Cold Steve Austin of the paranormal world.
All right, thank you, Red Bar, for that. All right, let's do it. Let's move on. That's a spoiler for our next episode. Why do I have Red Bar Bomb? Let me get off that. I don't want to play it again. All right.
Would you say these toys are cursed to God?
Oh, I would guarantee it.
Oh, well,
the toys and the cartoons. So the minute you turn your TV on, you've broken this scripture here.
So a parent who allows his child to watch this on television and also brings these toys into the home or buys them for...
This is so boring. I do want to see, look, there's a car pulled up in the back. I want to see if these people are bringing out their groceries or they picked up the kids in the old family truckster. We've got some good background stuff. They got them lined up in the shot perfectly. Here we go.
The child is actually breaking a commandment of God and inviting curses upon the family. Is that correct?
Yeah, the Bible talks about not taking counsel from ungodly counsel. Well, bringing a TV into your home is like taking counsel. And if you watch ungodly programs, you're taking counsel from ungodly counsel.
Well, Phil, now I think a lot of this can even go back, if we might divert, back to some of the movies that have been coming out, like Star Wars and the Jedi, Return of the Jedi, and so forth.
Jedi.
He acts like he is an alien. Like I said, everything he talks about, it feels like he doesn't live on this planet. And you think the Jedi, I don't know, it's... Return of the Jedi had been out for a year already, and look, I wore this in honor of tonight. Happy Pride Month, happy Star Wars, whatever. I'm wearing a very gay Star Wars shirt that I own just for this moment. This is the moment I've been waiting for. Finally, he's going after something beloved to me. He's going to call Star Wars evil, which is probably the greatest influence on my and many generations is Star Wars itself. But evidently, it's pretty evil, Pete. We got to get into it. This is it. You ready?
Well, listen. Look, I got to be honest with you, Ross. I don't know if you're aware of this, but I'm anti-Star Wars. I'm a Star Trek guy. The whole puppets thing turns me off. I've only seen Star Wars when I was a kid, then again when I was 19, then special editions, and now the Disney stuff. So I got to say, real drop in quality over the years for both franchises, but. I gotta say, Captain Kirk versus Luke Skywalker. I'm gonna way back to you, Russ.
No, I love it. I love it that you're Star Trek and I'm Star Wars. That's what we need. Look, I don't need some kind of. We're not clones here on the show. That's great. That's great. No. Everyone knows. I put my Star Wars on my chest. I love it. So I took much offense to this, and much attention was taken to it. So let's get into it.
I agree with these guys. I am on board with what they're saying.
Let's do it. Here we go. This is what I've been waiting for. God damn it. And yeah, I guess you're a good Christian, Pete, because Star Trek is not getting any attention on this at all.
Oh, dude, I'm the kind of Catholic the FBI spies on.
Yeah, but as Coach Levine said, Return of the Jedi. Here we go. Yeah, I want to pull it back and have him. How uncomfortable. I think he just found out about Star Wars this morning. So
to the home or buys them for the child is actually breaking a commandment of God and inviting curses upon the family. Is that correct?
Yeah, the Bible talks about not taking counsel from ungodly counsel. Well, bringing a TV into your home is like taking counsel.
I just realized what was on the TV.
If you watch ungodly programs, you're taking counsel from ungodly counsel.
I can't tell what's on the TV.
I think a lot of this.
Oh, I can. And spoilers. It's we're gonna find out in a second. I actually have it in my hand.
All right, if we find out,
we might divert back to some of the movies that have been coming out, like Star Wars and the Jedi, Return of the Jedi, and so forth. What is this creature we're looking at on our screen from?
Well, this is Squidhead. He's from Star Wars, and as you know, Star Wars told us that the Force would be with us.
All right. So there we go. Of all the characters he chose to pick on.
Well, this is Squidhead. He's from Star Wars.
This is Squidhead. Of all, if you don't, even Star Wars fans don't know who the fuck Squidhead is. I, of course, do. But this is Squidhead. He's from Star Wars. Evidently, he's the most occultic figure in all of Star Wars. He's in probably 2 seconds of Return of the Jedi, as he likes to say. Let's go back a little bit. Yes, and he's been on the screen the whole time. It looks like, I don't know, it looks like just a pile of shit. It looks like nothing in the background because the quality's so bad. And this little,
I thought it was a wedding veil or something, or a melted candle. I couldn't tell.
Or like the guy from Pirates of the Caribbean almost, which is kind of close to old Squidhead.
Oh, yeah. Well, Squidhead's very Lovecraftian. I'll give him that,
Well, this is
Cthulhu and such.
Star Wars.
Yes. Oh, and we got yes. That is a Quarren. The way he says Jedi. Jedi makes you think of how the Woolly said. All right, the Woolly. All right, here we go.
I wanted to answer this real quick. I saw a question from Ginger earlier regarding a cartoon. It was called The Pirates of Darkwater.
Okay. I don't think he addressed that, but is this the one here? What was the two from the 90s that had to do with pirates? And one of the main characters was an animal, was obsessed with pomegranate. What was it called?
The Pirates of Darkwater. It was.
There you go.
I don't know if it was Disney or not, but it was. It was a '90s cartoon. It was pretty decent.
Oh, hey, check it out.
Well, that's a Squidhead. He's from Star Wars.
From Star
now
Wars.
we got Squidhead. All right, well, tell us about Squidhead, please.
Star Wars, and as you know, Star Wars told us that the Force would be with us. And of course, the Force is a word used by witches down through the centuries to describe the power they receive from Satan. Characters like Darth Vader, who look almost exactly like the ancient Norse god Odin.
Now, you do you agree with this? You think I thought he was very like samurai based, but you do think that Darth Vader looks like the Norse god Odin?
Oh yeah, I mean the one eye, the appearance of a Nordic elderly man. I mean, you could put a picture of Odin right next to Darth Vader. You couldn't tell the difference.
Sorry, this is.
I don't know what he's talking about. Until I was a grown man, I thought Darth Vader and the Stormtroopers were all robots.
Yeah, until Return of the Jedi, Darth Vader could have been a robot for all I knew.
I thought they were all robots. Dude, I got a 7-year-old. He thinks they're all robots.
The Stormtroopers might as well be robots. The only things you let you kill, and they don't care. Like, that's not a guy. It's just, you can shoot
it's a robot. Like,
That's why they made the Clone Wars. You could just shoot a bunch of robots and put it as a cartoon on TV, and no one would blink an eye. All right, and I'm sorry, Diggity. I just wonder what his views are on pound puppies. Well, pound puppies, you see, are rejected individuals who were not accepted, much like Jesus. All right. I don't know, but he definitely would probably hate him. All right, let's get in. Norse god. All right, I do see the Norse god. I never really thought about that, but I did, of course, the samurai influences, which we already know that he is very against kicking and anything Eastern. So Darth Vader is an easy target for him because, of course, your child do heroic karate. Well, so we know he doesn't like anything samurai or kicking.
No, nor does he care for gymnastic thrusting.
I was going to show this again. If you just have getting here. Does your child do heroic karate? Should you tell some of the power of Dinosaur or Darth Vader? He knew it. Let's go.
And Obi-Wan Kenobi, and there's a form of witchcraft called Obi witchcraft, in which chanting Obi, Obi, Obi over and over again releases the power into the witches' lives.
You're saying that these were actually taken, this was taken from a Norse god who looked very much like him?
Yes, it looks a lot like Darth Vader.
I wish we could go back one slide and look at that Norse god.
See, this is where they fuck up.
They do go back one slide, and it's Squidhead again.
No, that's not Squidhead. That's Yoda. They can't go back, but I can go back and play.
Obi.
I'm summoning. So I didn't know anything about Obi witchcraft until this. He is basically teaching people really obscure occult things that you wouldn't know. I wouldn't know about Obi witchcraft or anything like that if he wasn't blasting into all these Christian kids talking about toys already. And I do think this is fun. I don't know how they're putting a slideshow. It must be a VHS tape that they're just pausing and go and they can't, for some reason they can't rewind it. It's like a PowerPoint where you can't go backwards. He's like, can we go back to that one? He wanted to go back to this. He wanted to go back to.
Well, this is Squidhead. He's from Star Wars.
But he couldn't. He couldn't because it went to Darth Vader and then they moved on.
Between Squidhead and Darth Vader, there's no image of any Nordic god.
No, there's nothing.
He's not paying attention to what's happening.
No, he doesn't. And they're like, can we go back? He's like, well, we can go forward if you say the magic words.
Yeah, they don't even try to go back. He just plows straight ahead.
He can't. All right, this is great. So I will pull this back a few seconds just so we can watch how terribly they failed. But I'll give it to him. He just moves on. He's like, all right, we're just going to plow through. We got this.
Vader.
I wish we could go back one slide and look at that Norse god, but we can't go backward on these? Okay.
We're looking at Yoda right now, and Yoda was called the Zen Master. Of course,
by who? Who called him the Zen Master?
Buddhism says there's one.
No one did.
Nobody.
No, it's just that's the vibe he gave off to Phil Phillips. Yeah, exactly. Like if you ask George Lucas, is like, is Yoda the Zen Master? That's what you said. He'd be like,
I never said that.
Because he never did, and that is just something he is projecting on it. But it does make me cool. And look, I've got to say, look, I've got the vintage brown snake Yoda. Who knows? It might be the same Yoda he has. Of course, I've got the brown snake Yoda, just like on this special. I had these out last week, and we got 3 hours in and didn't even sniff Star Wars with it, so I had to pull it back out. So I had no idea that Obi-Wan and Yoda, who to me were very like positive figures that made you, really want to like kind of better yourself and learn to focus and give you values and stuff like that. And I grew up Catholic as well. I have I think even, my parents and stuff and everyone in my family didn't think it was anything evil about Star Wars. Yeah, of course, there's the evil Norse god who's whatever, Darth Vader, but the good guys win. That's the whole point.
Star Wars, and as you know, Star Wars totally
I went back a little too far
almost exactly like the ancient Norse god Odin.
Let's get back
and
to
Obi-Wan Kenobi, and there's a form of witchcraft called Obi witchcraft, in which chanting Obi again releases the power into the witch's lives.
You're saying that these were actually taken. This was taken from a Norse god who looked very much like him.
Yes, it looks a lot like Darth Vader.
A Norse god who looked like a robot.
Slide and look at that Norse god, but we can't go backward on these.
Well, we're fucked.
Yoda is a chiseled Norse
and
god.
Yoda was called the Zen Master. Of course, this was
nobody
based on
ever.
Zen Buddhism. Zen Buddhism
No, it's
says
not.
there's one force in the world, and it can be either used for good or evil. And Yoda's called the Zen Master. He's always seen with serpents around him or serpents.
He's always
around him.
surrounded by snakes. He loves them. He eats them.
He is a three-fingered, three-toed beast. So he has the 2 fingers and the thumb, which from my information means Satan is Lord.
Satan is Lord.
Satanist, and I always thought he was saying Satan is Lord on there. I think he's saying
Satan is Lord. Satan is Lord.
No, it's 3 words. It's Satan is Lord.
No, I think he's saying Satanist Lord. He is a Satanist Lord.
Why would 3 fingers mean Satanist Lord? I
don't know. And
either way, none of it makes sense. None of it makes any sense.
I love this little
He's talking
Yoda
about
figure.
a puppet.
And I'll say this. When you think about Yoda, even now, you don't think about snakes with Yoda. The only reason he would think about it is because there's a snake on him. And you know why there is a snake on Yoda? Well,
because of Dagobah and extra plastic. Yeah, there's
because
extra plastic.
This is the normal size action figure. This is Yoda, okay? Normal size action figure, that's an amount of plastic. Yoda.
Wait a minute, can I ask you a quick question? Can I ask you a quick question? Is that Squid Head?
Well, this is Squid Head. He's from Star Wars.
That's Squid Head. He's from Star Wars.
Yeah, I was curious. Thank you.
Now, Yoda is being sold for the same price as Squid Head and Greedo and Walrus Man, everybody else. So what they had to do was add a bunch of other plastic bullshit to Yoda to make him worth the $3.99 they sold him. So they're like, I don't know what was around Yoda. I don't know. There was a snake on Dagobah. I'll give him a snake. All right, give him a cloth. Or give him his stupid cane, give him a belt, give him all the stuff. They had to add all that stuff to that Yoda toy because he is super tiny. And people will be like, I'm not paying the same. This thing is super tiny. Like, what's it? All right. So that's the only, as things have gone on, people do not associate snakes with Yoda. Yoda never touched a snake or put one around his neck. It's just this single toy because they needed more plastic in that container. That's the bottom line. Because I said so, I guess we're doing it. All right, let's move on.
Now, let's take it up right now with another creature by Steven Spielberg, I believe it is, from E.T., the extraterrestrial. What can we say about him?
Well, E.T.
That looks like that's E.T.
in 1982 by doing $318 million.
Well, in my case, my case was examined by 10 guys. They looked into my case, and the scientists are looking into my case because they, it's my case.
And they got off the Star Wars quick. They're like, boom, all right, you got it. Obi.
Before we get off of Star Wars, let me, and I know you're a Star Wars guy. I'm a Star Trek guy. And one caveat, I'll give Star Wars. If not for the success of Star Wars in 1977, there would have never been talk by CBS to bring Star Trek back to the big screen. So if not for the success of Star Wars, Star Trek the motion picture would have never happened. So yes, in some small way, Star Wars helped bring Star Trek back from
it helped.
obscurity. Yes.
It started a whole boom and changed the genre. That's why we had Battlestar Galactica on
Battlestar,
TV, I've never
absolutely.
really been into. But I will say
Buck Rogers. I was a Buck Rogers guy. I don't know if you remember that one.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, dude.
But I will say this: my first memory of being in a theater, I was only a wee baby, but I do remember someone taking me to see Star Trek, the motion picture, in theaters, and ever since then, I've had a bit of an affinity for bald ladies. Now, we shall now he's getting an ET, which all right, now we're talking. Now we're really into it.
That looks like that's ET.
So now he has an ET wind-up doll, which I bet you could find this kind of cheap on eBay. And since we're talking about ET, you think they don't like this ET toy? I'm sorry. I realize I actually have an ET toy that someone had given me recently. I have this deluxe dress-up ET. This is Happy Pride Month, guys. This is the ET in a dress doll where it's got all these weird accessories that someone, I say someone, I believe my wife gave me this great ET doll. So as much as I want that little wind-up ET doll, there's also, and Phil Phillips would absolutely go nuts if he saw, well, ET is actually a boy, but he's in a dress here. So he would not like this toy at all. So that's probably the last toy I'll show off tonight.
I don't know where they come off with the ET thing. Like, that's really bizarre to me. Like, I don't know how you read any of that into ET.
Well, we're going to hear about what his thoughts on ET, because he definitely glazed over Star Wars, so he's about to glaze over ET. But it's funny that he doesn't have a lot of toys to delve into at the time, so he's just got this shitty little wind-up.
That's kind of weird, because there were a lot of ET toys.
I used to have a ET where it was like a pull string ET where he's like, ET, I love you. Like, he said things and he lit up maybe. That was the only ET toy I had. There wasn't a lot of ET toys.
There were. My parents have a picture of me. I'm like 3. I'm in an ET t-shirt. They must have got it at Sears.
ET
t-shirt. Yeah, I'm in an ET
like,
t-shirt.
That's ET.
And I've got it's a plush ET, but like it was made of that like pleathery material that they used to use back then. So yeah, I gotta find that picture. Oh my god, I gotta send it to you. It's so over the top, dude. It's as 80s as it can be. It's so 80s that like I'm throwing up and filling my pants.
All right, don't cue me for things.
Extraterrestrial, the ETs.
ET. All right, thank you, Doris. All right, let's find out why wind-up ETs are evil.
The extraterrestrial. What can we say about him?
Well, E.T. smashed box office records in 1982 by doing $318 million.
$318 million.
Yes, it was a camouflage occult movie, including levitation, psychic healing, mind control, mental telepathy, that type of thing. E.T. also included some inferences to homosexuality.
Whoa! Hello!
That looks like that's ET.
So E.T. Wait, this is the first time they've mentioned homosexuality at all in this, which is a pretty hot button topic at the time. It was like, whoa, what are we talking about? What do you think he's talking about? Why is E.T. a gay character to Phil Phillips? Because we know they gotta hate that. I'm trying to rack my brain to think of any gay moments in E.T. I know E.T. got drunk. He shouldn't approve of that. I know he had a long finger.
I mean, like, I don't know where they're reading that into things. Well, I mean, like, look, we can obviously all agree that attitudes regarding that kind of thing has changed drastically from the time E.T. was released to now. So, like, the idea that these guys could infer there was some kind of thing going on like that with E.T. is, it's absurd, but it would play into the general consensus regarding that kind of thing back then. So, like, they were just exploiting. It's like picking a scab. You know what I mean? That's what he's doing.
Give it to Gary Greenwald, the only dude who would find E.T. to be gay. Oh, wait. I think it's
so
because...
weird.
Hold on. I'll bet you it's because of this. I'll bet you anything it's because of this. It's because he's like, well, E.T. was actually a cross-dresser. It's like, well, no one ever said E.T. was a boy. We don't know what those aliens are.
Can I ask you a personal question? And I know you're a married man. I'm a married man. So let's just pretend we're both single. Who's sexier, E.T. in drag, or is he the female gremlin?
I knew you were gonna ask that, and it's
you knew I was gonna ask that.
Yeah, I knew it.
Fuck?
It's Greta 100%. Moving on. Let's find out who's gayer, though. Here we go.
And within the movie,
homosexuality.
Yes.
this creature, E.T., became like a lovable little toy that every child wanted to have in his home. And this is just one of many. Now, E.T., I mean, we saw the little guy with healing power in his finger.
Yes.
And levitation ability, and he just brought all of this into the minds and thinking of the children. Would we say that this is a plot to...
Well, I think one of the things they tried to do on this movie is to make people accept that there's more Christ than just one. You know, many times that the Hindus, and they believe that there's a multiples of Christ, and they come at different occasions and different times. And so I think that's what happened in this movie. It was
that's not accurate either.
I never
of
said
Christ
that.
coming to Earth
am
and trying to get us to believe that, hey, you know, if E.T.'s an alien and he came down and he did all the things that he did and he died and was resurrected again, then what about Jesus? Maybe he was an alien.
Well, with
what does that have to do with being gay, though? He never addresses it. He never says anything. Yeah, I get the Christ analogy. Now, the Christ analogy, if you're a religious dude like this, you could take a little issue with that. Be like, all right, he does die, come back from the dead, blah, blah, blah. He's got a little boy helping him.
Well,
I don't see anything gay about it, though.
There's nothing wrong with any of that. Like, to be honest, like a lot of the things they nitpick about, the levitation, the healing.
Yeah, they hate levitation.
That kind of stuff.
They really
like,
hate levitation.
Many of those who weren't run out, but we both admitted here we've been raised Catholic. A lot of times when people exhibit these things like levitation or bilocation or healing ability, that's an exhibition of their sanctification, of how holy they are, not like a link to demonic power. They're not casting curses on people. It's like, yo, this dude couldn't walk, then you touched him and he could. Like, that's a totally different story. So I don't know. I mean, like, these guys now, I'm not gonna get too into that, but like, these guys are looking for the devil under every rock, I'd say.
They are. And look, we're going to take a quick music break real quick, but we're going to come back because I have the smallest bladder of any podcaster ever.
Oh, dude, thank you.
We'll be right back.
So after my spaceship was shot down by the Illuminati, they said I had to get a job at the Waffle House. So I was working at the Waffle House doing a bad job, burning everything and flirting with the waitresses. When I worked there, no one got their food. We all smoked DMT. Even the cops who came to arrest us were high on DMT. The entire city was shut down because everyone was on DMT. I called my girlfriend and she said how dated the robot she bought, Cabo, had more personality as SP. So after that, I went into a portal under the stove and got some DMT from another dimension that had fairies and lizard people running the USA. That was a weird place. I got all the DMT.
Pretty stupid. That didn't faze them. I told them the Illuminati sent me in on a mission from God. The men in black blazed my brain. I woke up in the ground. Outside the Waffle House, a purple elephant was trying to sit on me. And then I noticed my worst nightmare. The men in black took my DMT. They could have took my money or take my girlfriend that date's an outdated robot. But instead, those bastards took my DMT. So he called the Illuminati. So they called the CIA and they arrived. to laser my brain.
That's the music cue.
Try to MK. Alter my brain. Good
Thank
luck with that
you for hanging in
loser.
for that. Oh, thank you, Ivan Teller. Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here, Ivan Teller. Yeah, that's Ivan Teller and his famous music cube.
Aliens.
Oh, no,
also
no, no,
the
no, no,
cartoon
no, no,
shows
no.
are
Stop. Okay. We got it back in. I got to check in with the chat. All right. Whew. All right, I'm a little winded. Been running around. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Who says this? Me too, Russ. Be right back. Yes, of course. Need a little pee break once in a while, and you should say, "Hey, Russ, maybe don't like drink or anything in the show." All right. Well, what's the fun in that? Seriously. And so you guys having fun tonight? I am. I love this thing, and we are doing the same thing as last time. We are like an hour and 20 in, and we're kind of scratching the surface. I'm trying to get to this. I actually have found other things that Gary Greenwald has done that are actually interesting. One of them is like a Halloween special that he did where he dissed Halloween, which I think is great. And of course, hey, if you're into this, go get your Deception of a Generation t-shirt. I need this shirt. I want to find this thing. You just look up Deception of a Generation shirt. I think somebody put this goofy ass design on Redbubble for this VHS tape. The fact that someone went to that trouble is great. It wasn't me. I swear it wasn't me. So, and also, yeah, I'll plug his books, man, in case he's still out there. Look at these great ones. You got Saturday Morning Mind Control, The Truth About Power Rangers. Now, the fact that this was like seriously created as a book at the time, I love this stuff. And this is kind of, yes, we did the episodes about the original one, and I said there's, I want to watch every stupid second of this stupid show because I love it. I love every second of it. I like Phil Phillips. I like this. Does your child do heroic karate? Like, I want to know, because that has to do with the Power Rangers. So I want to learn more about heroic karate. I want to see if there's any video proof that they ever talked about that. And we will get back, of course, to our normal unbelieving, our normal great alien and UFO tales and ghost stuff. I've got a ton of stuff in the back burner that we're putting out, and I've got a great episode lined up to do with Rob and Drea that we will be recording soon. Sadly, it's going to be, we're coming up on like our last episode with Rob, not ever, but with him as just in the continuity of the show, having the three of us doing it. And there is someone who is stepping up that is going to jump in and be a third with us for a while. Of course, Pete is always welcome to join us as well. So, but we're going to be doing all right. We're fine. The actual podcast itself, because the YouTube, the YouTube doesn't do nearly as well as the podcast does. I don't know. I'm trying. What do you want me to do? But I'll jump back in. Pete's doing his thing. He's going to jump back in. Pete's not going to miss much. So let's get back in now with Deception of a Generation Part 2.
These superheroes that come from other planets, like Clark Kent, who is Superman, and so forth. Can we talk about the superheroes for a moment?
Well, many of our superheroes have occult powers. We know that Superman's dead father speaks to him and gives him guidance. We know that many of them have other occult powers that they're involved in. And they're also seen with occult figures, as we'll see in some of these comic books that are coming up. Here's Wonder Woman. Now, she has occult powers herself, but you see these demons coming out of a fiery pit, and she's involved with the demons.
Well, when
she's involved with the demons. Oh, sorry, I would jump way back. Apologies. Oh, no spoilers. So yeah. Oh, where are we in this? We are around here. Oh man, look, Pete leaves for 2 seconds, and I screw it all up. Let's get back to Wonder Woman. Of course, comic books. That's kind of cheating to talk about. Comic books get into all kind of nonsense. So you can't really.
And she's involved with the demons.
Well, when you talk about Wonder Woman,
and see, there you go, the thing, and Scarlet Witch. Hey, maybe we didn't think about the occult factor of Scarlet Witch. It looks like Loki on the cover of this. So it's like a fat Loki or something in here, and Scarlet Witch and the thing.
Here's one of the toys we bought of Golden Girl.
Yeah.
And all of these comics and cartoons are spawning
Golden
toys
Girl
that the children can identify.
Wait, hold on. I've never seen this. Now, he already talked about She-Ra, stuff like that. I don't know Golden Girl. And what's his name? Girl's name? Volva or some Voltura? Voltor. I don't remember these toys at all. He definitely is getting some like knockoff dollar bin toys he's been talking about, especially those weird flying things from earlier. Let's learn about Golden Girl. Come on now. Like Golden Girl, you only think of one thing, of course. I mean, I'll look in the comments. Of course, we all think of the Golden Girls. This is not that. Maybe Golden Girls ripped this off. Maybe this is their origin story of the Golden Girls, that they were once, powerful occultic heroes who all ended up living in a house together, very, very single. And I'm looking at the chat here. Wonder Woman was actually created because the guy that thought her up had a bondage kink. No joke. Yeah, I have no trouble believing that. And the fact that we have a canon the superhero figure whose main thing is about tying dudes up and making them tell the truth. Ooh, hot to think about always. I love it. Thank you, Ginger Viking Jesus.
Yes, Golden Girls, a new series aimed at girls.
It's aimed at girls specifically.
Yes,
very
much
interesting.
So. Yes. It's a new action figure series.
Well, we thought we'd show that because a lot of the girls are now getting in on the action.
Yes,
what do we have here?
This is the Thing and the Scarlet Witch. Power Man and Son of Satan.
Son of Satan. I like how he brings up Scarlet Witch and the Thing. It's like, that's a Marvel team up. It's like they ran out of team ups. Like, what do you want them to do? Scarlet Witch was a character. The Thing. All right, here we go. Son of Satan, though. All right, I'm listening.
Of Satan. Now they're getting kind of blatant.
And this is the Burning Hand. Now, in the Burning Hand, we have a depiction of Jesus Christ crucified on a pentagram, a 5-pointed occultic star.
Okay, I'll give them, they can have this one. This is pretty blatantly occultic and anti-religious. You guys, all right, if you want a little bit of outrage, you can have it here. I don't see it with Star Wars and in He-Man and a lot of stuff you guys are talking about. But this one, yeah, we'll spot you this one. You could definitely going against comic books is kind of easy though.
Unbelievable. That is the star of Satan. The 5-sided star is a pentagram, and it represents the goat's head. And here it actually, do you see the direction that the cartoons are going and the comic books? They're showing Jesus Christ as defeated and crucified by the occultic powers. I just can't believe this.
It is phenomenally blatant, and it is affecting children today.
Well, what else do we have on these occultic comic books?
He's like, all right, can we start wrapping this up? He's like, no. Oh, no, not even close. We've got a lot more to get into.
We're starting to see violence within the toy series in a greater and greater way. Masters of the Universe averages 37 violent acts every half hour. Dungeons and Dragons averages 67 violent acts every half hour.
What?
And then there's the granddaddy on Mars, G.I. Joe, and which is also matched by Transformers, which does over 80 violent acts every half hour.
Whoa. All right. Now, the stat master coming in handy here. So, Transformers, 80 violent acts in a half hour. That's a great little way to freeze him here. 80. I like how he's tracking the violent acts. It's like G.I. Joe, Transformers. You asked for Transformers earlier. You're going to find out why. It's the violent acts. Now we're getting to Transformers. You missed Jesus nailed to a pentagram in a comic book that he was very upset with. But it's time to move on from that. That's actually on the screen. But, forget that. Don't worry about that. Because now he's talking about, we know he's the stat master. He loves his stats. And Transformers and G.I. Joe are the next target. Transformers, Pete, 80 violent acts in a half hour.
It is pretty violent. Like, I've really recently delved back into 84 Transformers. They get a tar out of each other all day. It's great.
Right, but they're big space robots just punching each other. It's like, I don't know why he gets so hung up about it, but evidently it's very occultic. He just kind of glossed over Jesus nailed to a pentagram. So let's moving on. Let's get back to these Transformers, things kids actually care about. So here we go.
And in that, we compare that to a very violent adult television show, which averages 4 to 6 violent acts every half hour, and a cartoon like Bugs Bunny Roadrunner, which averaged about 11 violent acts.
Okay, Bugs Bunny and Roadrunner. I mean, Bugs Bunny was pretty violent. He gave a lot of he beat the shit out of Elmer Fudd. So there's a history of violence in these old cartoons for sure. But only, I guess, if you break it down, he loves cartoons. He loves toys.
He loves it. You can't get enough.
You can't get these kind of stats from just casually watching anything. You love it. You really want to break it down. But Transformers.
Question: Where do you think they get the stats back then? There's no internet to use. Where are these stats coming from?
Him. He's watching everything. He's watching everything. He's counting every time.
He's cooking the books.
Yeah, he could be. Who's fact checking him? Nobody. He could just say whatever he wants on all this and be like, "Yep, 80 violent acts Transformers do." But all right, Gary Greenwald, and Gary Greenwald believes everything. You can tell this dude anything. He's like, "Wow, I have no idea anything exists." So I accept.
His mustache is as crooked as the letter S.
He just wants to host it. He just wants to host this show. He's like, "Yep,
it's thick on one side and thin on the other." You see what's happening there? That's not right.
It looks, as we're watching it, he either sucks at shaving. Yeah, he's like, or just taped on. He's got two mustaches. You're right. He's got he's like one of those like the old half man, half woman. We could turn different ways. But he's like half guy, half other guy. Like it doesn't.
You can see his lip on the one side, but you can't see his other.
It's so weird. And his eye, he looks fake. Like his eyes don't look like they're. I don't know, something.
The perm. It's the perm. It looks like he should have a chin strap.
Let's see what's going on.
I would like to say also that in the Bible, God says that he cast Lucifer, Satan, out of heaven because he was so filled with violence. And we know
that it doesn't say that.
There is swearing.
What does it say, Pete? Because you know these things.
Okay, so it never says that God says he cast Lucifer out of heaven. The whole thing with the devil in the Bible is there's 7 passages that are cobbled together to kind of make up the story of the devil. And they span from the beginning of the Bible to the end. So there's no definitive story of Lucifer because it's not really that important. Jesus says he saw Lucifer fall like lightning from the sky. And then it's just, I don't know. These guys don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Yeah, it almost makes you think they are Catholic even though they aren't because they're like, these guys actually read the Bible. They claim they do.
Deception, murder, stealing, and adultery. They employ violence so that bloodshed follows bloodshed. I was absolutely amazed recently when I went into the toy stores and I saw that there were complete racks filled with grenades, rocket launchers, all kinds of knives and guns, and squirt guns that are so occultic in that are not occultic but violent in that they depict real firearms used in wars. And
I want an occultic squirt gun. And hold on. That's the other thing. I brought this up earlier. This guy had to grow up in the 60s where all toys were like these big metal toy guns, post-World War II kids kind of stuff where violent toys are everywhere.
Red Ryder BB gun, dude. Red Ryder BB gun.
Everything. And G.I. Joe existed in the late 60s, early 70s.
You're absolutely right.
Line.
Yeah.
And he would have grown up in that. He would have known all of that already. Well, he's acting so surprised that now, I can't believe.
Well, who knows how sheltered he was? He might have been really sheltered. I don't think he was. I think this guy was a professional pervert. And then he found Jesus and turned it around.
Kid pervert. Yeah. He was more worried about perversion than guns, and he just hit him later in life when he just.
It was later in life, dude.
When his disco years ended, he saved the outfits, but he got new values. But I like the slip of occult guns. I was like, I wish there was occult guns. There were not, but he's going to tell us about the violent toys and
tell us all about these violent toys.
I thought we would start today by showing you a clip from G.I. Joe. So let's go into a commercial of a G.I. Joe toy series.
G.I. Joy.
I love that. I love it.
I'm full of G.I. Joy.
And we will be, and I will be too, once YouTube sends me an email saying,
nasty email
clipping me. Yeah, you played a G.I. Joe cartoon. All right, we get it. Maybe we'll get a super chat to make up for it. Who knows? All right, here we go.
Now said easy, but now it's gonna get real hard. Cobra's hired evil twin brothers. Of the Crimson Guard. Introducing the leaders of the Crimson Guard, the evil twin brothers Tomax and Samot. And they're getting away in the Cobra Ferret.
The Joes will stop them.
With the G.I. Joe mini-tank.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Evil twin brothers sold together. Cobra Ferret, G.I. Joe mini-tank, and Joe figures sold separately from Hasbro.
That's a pretty cherry pick commercial too, because the only people they ever called evil, they were the evil twins, Zammot and Tamaz. Their names were like Zammot and Tamaz. Names were backwards. Like if you reverse their names,
and if you slap one, the other felt it too.
Yes, and they they had a shoulder pauldron on either one. All right, they were great twin characters. I know I actually own those stupid toys. I thought,
oh, dude, I begged my mom for those. Like, I thought they were so cool. G.I. Joe Real American Hero is awesome. The comic series by Larry Hama. Dude, Larry Hama was like a non-vet karate master, a motorcycle enthusiast. Like, he knew what he was talking about when he was writing G.I. Joe.
Karate?
That's why I knew G.I. Joe. Yeah.
Heroic.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, they did heroic karate.
It was heroic. It was heroic karate. Dude, Snake Eyes, he didn't say a word, but he'd kick you right in the mouth. Hoo-yah!
I knew it. On this plane. All right, so here we go. Let's get back to another commercial. Maybe we won't get tagged for commercials.
Joe team, our work isn't done yet.
Yo,
Follow
Joe.
the exciting adventures of the Joe team 5 days a week as they battle the evil forces of Cobra. Monday,
No one
Tuesday,
dies.
Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. It's the most exciting and
Well, Phil, as we're watching these G.I. Joe commercials, can't we say that they're also helping sell toys and even cereal?
Oh, yeah, the cartoons and the commercials are helping selling the toys and the cereal.
I think we ought to show the toy to start out
We
today.
ought to.
You know, G.I. Joe years ago used to be a guy that wore khakis and was just sort of a soldier, but now he's taken on an occultic look, hasn't he?
Hold on. I was actually about to bring this up that my favorite
Zartan.
My favorite, I did have some G.I. Joes. I did like Zammot and Tamaz, the twins, but the other guy I liked, I'm sorry, I live in Louisiana. I am from Louisiana. And the fact that they made a guy with a swamp buggy named Zartan was very cool to me because he was like the master of the skies. Like this was a figure where you could put different faces on him and he could change. I definitely own this thing. I want one now again watching this. And I did have his stupid swamp buggy. And
The color changing feature.
Yes, it changed color in water. It was a very cool
No.
toy.
In the sunlight, he turned blue, just like in the show.
Oh.
Yeah, if you put him in the sun, he turned blue. So, like,
All
in the
right.
show, that happens a couple times. Like, he couldn't be in the light like that for some reason. His disguises wouldn't work, and he'd freak out.
Yeah, it sounds very devilish. I love it. It's
yeah,
like the Mission
dude,
Impossible.
Zartan's awesome.
Like Mission Impossible
movies?
Yeah, why isn't he in the movies? He looks like Alice Cooper. He's a
No,
great character.
he was in both G.I. Joe movies.
I don't think I saw either of them.
You didn't see them? Oh, dude, you gotta watch
I
them.
saw
You gotta
some
watch
of them.
The one with The Rock is pretty good. The Rock and like Bruce Willis, pretty decent. The one before that with Marlon Wayans, it's all right. But I mean, they're pretty decent. They're better than the Snake Eyes movie was.
I didn't see that either. Yeah, Ginger Viking Jesus. I had a bunch of these toys as a kid. I know this is very nostalgia road, and we were all worse off for it as we're learning.
Yeah,
So-
they're slowly but surely weaving in the occult and mainly in the martial arts and different things like that within G.I. Joe.
Sort of a futuristic look as we see on this figure on our monitor here. He's taking on the look of the future soldier, so to speak.
Very much.
And a lot of the movies are depicting that too.
No.
I see a real trend toward what I call the barbarization of our children, where through these violent movies and violent cartoons, they're teaching our children that the way to handle problems is through violence.
And now, also the
If I may,
violence
if I
is
may.
helping sell cereal, correct?
Yeah.
And here we have a G.I. Joe cereal box. And
Okay, while he has this up, this cereal looks. I know I never had this. This cereal looks like shit. There's no marshmallows in here. There's nothing appealing about the cereal.
You know what it reminds me of? Like Kix. You know,
it looks like
kid
Kix.
tested, mother approved. Like that crappy cereal.
looks like
Kix.
Cheerio Joe or something. It's nothing special
Cheerio
about it.
Joe.
Unless
I
there's
feel like
something-
Cheerio Joe would be British. Cheerio Joe. Pip pip.
It looks awful.
what we're really concerned about is not selling cereal, though. We're concerned about the trend towards teaching the children to have violent attitudes.
Oh, yes, and we see things such as flat gum, you know, that look like shrapnel. Coming
Oh, flat gum.
Yeah, it comes in a pouch, and it looks like pieces of shrapnel.
You talk about Big League Chew? You talk about Big League Chew?
Is that what? Is that considered shrapnel gun? I've never heard of that. What is he talking
I don't know.
about?
I don't know if he's been in a war zone. But like I don't know if Big League Chew represents fragments of metal from a grenade.
No, I'm so lost with this. All right.
I thought it was supposed to represent chewing tobacco.
Right. It's supposed to.
Because it's shredded gum.
Right, and you chew it as a little leaguer, and you
feel like a big man.
You're a big leaguer. Back when baseball players had terrible tobacco addictions, they couldn't smoke. On the sidelines.
It was great. Back when baseball players had arms that were the size of a horse's thigh, and they could crush balls out to the stands. Everybody was roided out. That's when baseball was awesome.
Absolutely.
In fact, I was listening to one commentator talk about the feelings within Russia, and he said that the Russians were more upset about this new trend in America, the children wearing the fatigues and being more militaristically minded than they were about our nuclear arms.
You're kidding me.
Yeah, very much so.
In other words, this is a threat to Russia because they see our children being programmed to want to carry guns around and to shoot people and to rocket launch and so forth. And that's
rocket launch.
Went to the toy store seeing
wait a minute. Now, look, these guys, there's a little paradox here because generally you'd assume these guys would be all for the gun stuff,
right?
But be very progressive in their ideas of like, hey, this is going to make the kids want to carry the gun. They seem that they are not for that. It seems like the attitudes towards these things are vastly different back in the day than they were now. Like everything seems much less polarized.
Yeah, and. This is like the age of Rambo, and these guys are. I mean,
Rambo was great. Rambo had a cartoon.
I think Rambo's coming up because they're talking about weaponry.
Oh yeah,
and they are very good at segues in this. So let's see what they say.
All of these occultic toys, from grenades to gum that you chew that's supposed to be shrapnel. Here's a Rambo. Gun that we picked up at one of the stores. And, of course, Rambo is an extremely popular movie, but this is a squirt gun that's battery-operated and squirts 30 feet. But that's...
Yo, you could not leave the house with that now. If you walked outside without that now, you would be asking for trouble.
You would be dead. You'd be
like,
dead.
that does not look... That does not look fake at all. That looks like you're coming out of the bush with that thing. Like, back in the day, all the toy guns look real.
Oh,
but we didn't have the same kind of problems back in the day. Like I remember going to Kmart and seeing like they would look like pump action like rifles, and they'd have racks of them.
And any little pharmacy or shit store, you can get a little snub nose 38 cap gun with no orange top on it. They just look like a pistol.
No.
That's what we wanted, man, because we were just like we wanted to just shoot each other up, I guess. But look at this thing. This thing looks.
Yo, that's pretty impressive. I bet it takes battery. Oh, you're just about to say that, right?
He said it's a battery operated squirt gun.
Dude, it probably is
how much
awesome.
water can you hold in this stupid thing? Like,
nothing, dude. It's probably $100.
Jesus Christ. All right, here we go. Yeah. This is when white kids felt very safe in the suburbs and they were not going to get killed by the cops.
Look at Stallone.
He's just ripped on there. All right. And
he was ripped like a piece of paper back then.
Jesus Christ.
It's not so bad. It's just the children get the feeling that guns are in now, that shooting people is in.
Oh, they really are.
Hey, you ever seen Commando?
And Rambo and other movies like this
Great flick.
have glorified violence,
You're
and
a disease.
the hero never gets hurt. I mean, he's hardly ever even scathed. It doesn't give a real picture of war. And people say, well, the Bible is a violent book. But if you look at the Bible, the violence took place over hundreds of years, not such in a compacted 90-minute package.
I would disagree with this. I would disagree with all of this. Look, the thing with biblical violence is that it's all absolutely justified. He's talking about it took place over time, so it's okay. No, it's absolutely justified, every bit of it. Like, it sounds crazy, and I know it's a wild position, but like look into it. It's like there's a reason that it all happens. It's not like things happen in the Bible and it's like it's violent just cause. It's not like people are violent for the sake of violence. Like there are reasons for the violence in the Bible. So like these guys again, they illustrate they don't know what they're talking about.
And the 80s was the post-Vietnam era, a very fucking violent war, and there was all kind of bullshit going on. And I didn't pause this to make him look stupid. He just always looks stupid. I'm sorry.
He's got like this puckered mouth and this surfboard hair. Like he's crazy looking. I
realize what it looks like. There is a Kids in the Hall character that Scott Thompson plays. Where he's always like this. Oh, come on, you guys. I think it's him and another another one of the people on Kids in the Hall. They just talk like this. Oh my god, they just say that. And that's what he looks like all the time. I'll find that. We'll play a clip of it. I don't remember it right now.
He reminds me of like a jelly donut with too much jelly, or a hot dog that's been cooked too long and it gets plump. You know, like he's like that.
Yeah, he's like if I'm not even.
He's double stuffed. He's double stuffed.
I'm not even getting political. Use your imagination. Who this
I'm just
idiot
getting.
looks like a young version of.
I'm just getting into food over here.
I want him to take that gun out and give him a battery-powered squirt on his face, right in that mouth, real quick. Get that Rambo gun out.
Yeah.
Get that Rambo gun out and take it out on him, this idiot. All right, let's go.
Right in the mouth.
A 30-minute cartoon with 80 violent acts on the half hour.
Well, I think, Phil, as we're looking at this, we're seeing a trend that is leading towards what we now call our Transformer toys, which transform
here we go.
A weapon to a robot type of creature.
Right.
And
So
we're going
cool.
to get into talking about robots and Transformers, but let's talk about some of the more innocuous things that are on the market that are leading into these things. I mean, what could we call something like Smurfs? Is there anything occultic or dangerous about Smurfs?
Well, Smurfs happens to be the most popular Saturday morning cartoon since the Bugs Bunny Roadrunner hour.
Here we go.
It came, and it's just entered into a long-term run, and it's hit an hour and a half on Saturday morning cartoons. But there are some things about Smurfs that we need to look at. First of all, you'll notice that they're depicted as blue with black lips.
Well, isn't that interesting?
And you know what happens to you.
Wait, what? And Ginger Viking Jesus, thanks for the super sticker. But what the? So now we're getting it like, oh yeah, we'll talk about Transformers in a second. Hold on though. But first, Smurfs. Smurfs. He has a problem with Smurfs, and yeah, I guess there is. I guess you're gonna get into Gargamel, and there is a bit of an occultedness and magic to Smurfs. But Smurfs are just a stupid fucking kids cartoon, man.
He's cupping those Smurfs like a vagrant scrotum.
He was ready. Yeah, I know. He is. And these. I don't remember a lot of Smurfs merch existing at the time. Like besides like little sticker sets, whatever.
The little one Smurf figures that were made by Ponyo or whatever. They were
Panini
like Swiss
or whatever.
Yeah, they were like little tiny figures. They did those and the mushroom houses. A lot of them are actually valuable collectibles to this day. If you can find like the one like the Angry Smurf with the purple eyes and
there we go.
Yeah.
It's a Chase Smurf. Go find
Yeah,
that. I never saw these.
There's some rare Smurf figures out there.
They're not articulated. They're not fun. They're just little figures.
No, they're not articulated at all. They're
like
the kind you get in a cereal box or something, you know?
Right. They're like the California Raisin kind of toys. They're pretty
Exactly. Oh, California Raisins, dude. Yeah, suck down a raisin.
I don't know.
Too.
That came after. That was like 86.
Yeah,
so we don't.
It really was.
We'll never know how evil those were. But let's get into. Well, hold on Transformers. Hold your roll. We got to talk about the fucking Smurfs.
When you die, you turn blue and your lips turn black.
Holy
In other words, these are depictive of dead creatures.
Right. And another thing is that Smurfs is an all-male community.
What? So the Smurfs are zombies? When you're blue and your lips are, you're dead. You're dead. You're dead. The Smurfs are dead people. They're little tiny dead people. What the? I'm sorry. Pete has to do this to stay alive. That is just.
I know. It's a whole thing. I have to do.
It's
I'm
fine.
sorry.
It's fine. Understandable.
Yeah, I had an eye surgery a couple years ago. Everybody, it's crazy. Like
the Smurfs are zombies.
The scar tissue.
They look like they need it with their eyes all bugged out like that. All right, I get it. I'm down with it. The Smurfs are dead people. What the? Never expected this, but here we go.
And you say, oh, there's Smurfette. She's a female. Well, in one cartoon, she was depicted as transforming from a male to a female through magical power.
No. That's not true.
Wait.
That's not accurate.
You made me fuck up, but you're correcting the record. I'll get back to it. I'll know where he holds the Smurf. So, wait. So he's saying that Smurfette was once a male and became a female. And you're saying not true.
Smurfette was through means all are male. All Smurfs are male. That's how it's been for the last 40 years until recently because of, modern sensibilities. So all Smurfs were male until Smurfette came along because Smurfette was made by magic through the work of Gargamel. That's why she's the only female Smurf. Now, there's been a recent movie called The Lost Village where they discovered a whole village of Smurfs, a counterpart to the pre-existing 50, 60 years of Smurf mythology where they're all male. But yes, now there are female Smurfs. But back then, and forever and ever, it was all male until Gargamel made Smurfette with magic. I think she was made out of mud or clay or something like that. But yes, no. She was never a male that was turned into a female. She was a pile of mud or clay or something like that.
Like Jesus Christ. You know way too much about Smurf lore, but I'll give it to you. That's why you're
I
here.
got a 7-year-old and a 5-year-old, dude. It's not weird. I've got 2 young kids. It's not like I'm a creep who's in a Smurf.
I never said
I'm not a Brody, dude. I'm not a Brody. Don't give people the wrong impression. I'm a Smurfy, yes. I'm all about
Smurfy.
I'm a Smurfy. I got a Smurf costume. I'm 3 apples tall.
Well, let's Smurf the rest of this Smurfy video. All right, I did get back to where we were. You floored me so much with your Smurf knowledge. I Smurfed all the way to the beginning of this video. But I'm back.
You can go Smurf yourself, buddy.
He's cupping these 2 Smurfs in a very lovely manner, and we will we'll get through it. And I will say, we probably aren't even gonna finish, Pete. We're gonna do 2 hours.
We're gonna do part 3.
We're gonna do there might be a part 3. You might attack it on something. Maybe we'll do it on your stream and torture your fucking listeners. But
I don't have any listeners anymore. My channel's dead. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's not true. Get out of here. All right, let's watch a little bit more. No, we can save it for. We'll do one, and then maybe we'll do a live stream after it. But let's go. It's so hard to
male community, and you say, "Oh, there's Smurfette. She's a female." Well, in one cartoon, she was depicted as transforming from a male to a female through magical power, and so the only female in the Smurfs is transformed from a male. She was not born a female.
No, what you're telling me then is that even Smurfs carry a homosexual connotation. In
Whoa!
that most of them are male.
Whoa! I believe so.
But we're not going to blatantly say that Smurfs are evil. We're just saying that they have all of these overtones that are leading that direction.
Well, let's take another look at Smurfs. Because the Smurfs cartoon, the whole storyline is that the Smurfs get in trouble. And every time they get in trouble, they run to Papa Smurf, who whips up a spell or an incantation to get them out. In fact, he's said the name Beelzebub numerous times in the cartoon.
Never.
And he whips up this spell.
Hold on.
Beelzebub, Papa Smurf is calling on Beelzebub. That never happened.
He might have receipts. He might be showing Papa Smurf saying
Let's see.
Beelzebub.
If he says Beelzebub, I will fill my pants. I'll fill my pants right now.
Do you believe in Gary Spivey?
Dude, Gary Spivey. What the fuck?
All right. I'm just having fun. All right, let's see. Let's go.
Spell or incantation and draws them out of their problems through witchcraft. And then they have an enemy called Gargamel. Now, Gargamel, in a recent episode, I saw him draw a 5-pointed star, the pentagram, on the ground.
Right.
He lit candles at each point, which is an actual witchcraft practice. He started to dance inside the pentagram, chanting a magical chant. At that point, a book opened up across the room, and something left the book and entered his physical body, giving him power to levitate and to do battle against the Smurfs.
Okay. Again, levitation. Levitation is a huge point of contention for this. Like I said, he hates kicking. He hates Eastern religion. He hates Jedis. He hates what is this guy's name? Well,
no. Look, he's got a few good points here and there. I'm not going to give him a whole negative pass on things, but like some of the stuff is a wild stretch. Like the Smurfs, well, come on.
Well, that's a squidhead. He's from Star Wars.
He hates all of this. All right.
Look, I'm going to back him up on the gymnastic thrusting. I am firmly opposed to gymnastic thrusting.
And against you, so you're against heroic karate.
And I don't like. I like villainous karate. Heroic karate, no way.
Exactly. He's like karate's for. He's the anti-Miyagi. He's like no. All right.
Oh no. So we can say that Smurfs has gone occultic.
Very much so.
Oh,
well, how about something innocuous like the Care Bears? Aren't they very popular?
Well, Care Bears is very popular, and it was started by Hallmark Cards as a very innocent thing, and then they've licensed out, and some things have taken place in Care Bears that need to be talked about, and one of those things took place in the Care Bear movie.
Okay. I'm actually gonna call it here. we're gonna stop here. Pete, remember this. Just remember 2 words.
We're just Care Bears
and bears. There's
Yes.
we are at an hour 15, and this thing goes about an hour 30. There's only about 15 minutes left, but it's gonna take us like a goddamn hour to get through it. So we're gonna call it there. We're gonna call it at him talking about the Care Bears. It's Friday night. I want to thank everybody for hanging out and having fun with us tonight. I gotta see, man, do I have something that is kind of fun that can get us out? I put so much weird stuff on for this. We watched that. Oh, I'm actually gonna give a little teaser. Now, you asked me, Pete, earlier, is there more like Eagle's Nest? Is there more Gary Greenwald? Is more?
Yeah.
So Eagle's Nest, I came across another video of his in one of the weirdest places. It's another YouTube channel I follow. It's like this channel that collects all this classic Chicago television that there's a few people recorded on VHS just constantly. There's a few people who lived in Chicago who recorded VHS of television constantly, and they happened to catch an Eagle's Nest Halloween expose special.
Oh my God.
And we will watch a couple minutes of this and we will save it. And next time we will finish this and we will watch all of this. But this is a teaser because we got 5 minutes left. We will watch a couple of minutes of this. Get ready for late 80s Gary Greenberg. Here we go. Greenwald.
Danny Petty.
Eagle.
And now it's time for the Eagle's Nest.
Eagles
Join us
food.
for the next half hour
For the
the
Eagle's
ministry of
Nest.
the Eagle's Nest Christian Fellowship in Southern California. Experience the exciting musical guest and enjoy the unique ministry of Pastor Gary Greenwald as he shares Eagles food from the Eagle's Nest.
I've stood and watched the eagle.
So this was his regular Eagles Nest show, but this is a Halloween special. You're not gonna fucking believe. There's Frankenstein's. There's everything.
I don't believe it now.
Here we go. This is just.
This reminds me of One Tin Soldier from the movie Billy Jack.
This is a half-hour special. We will just watch the first couple of minutes.
Here's Pastor Gary.
Here we go.
I'll double down on this. I'll watch the whole damn thing. I'm gonna watch it.
We
later.
will.
Hi, I'm Pastor Gary, and I'm continuing the message that I started last week, dealing with Halloween, a diabolical trick or a harmless treat.
All right, here we go.
Oh my God! Please pause this. I got so many questions already.
Okay, here we go. So it's our boy Gary Greenwald. He's in a cobweb.
Thank you. Yes.
Podium in a graveyard on Halloween. This is a fucking Halloween expose
Dude,
special.
fog machine. He's got a fog machine.
And he's got the same big disco shirt. He's got the brown leather jacket. This had to be maybe a year or two after that. This is
dude, he looks great.
All right, we'll watch.
I bet he's carrying around a hammer in those pants.
We're just watching a little bit of this before we get out. Actually, I'm watching our clock. We've been going an hour 56 minutes. We're going to go a couple minutes more.
Shared my own feelings, and I believe the Bible's feelings from God, that our kids should not be going out trick-or-treating. They shouldn't dress up like ghosts and goblins and demons and all of Satan's creatures. They should not identify with a pagan holiday. They should be
They should not look like a dude from Night Ranger.
Streets and not get involved with the demonic powers that are
Please,
involved
Ginger,
with
we're about to
Halloween.
end. Just give
God's
us the
warning
joke.
is not to get involved with Halloween or even to participate. For Jeremiah 10, verse 2 says, "Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen."
All right,
do
I
it.
think this is a good place to stop. This
Learn
is
not the way
teaser.
of the heathen, dude. I'm all about it. Learn not the way of the heathen. That's where we stop, right? That's right.
That's where we're closing tonight. So we really tried to get. It is a real struggle to get through Deception of a Generation. There's
Dude,
only a
it
few
is a
minutes
pleasure. It is a pleasure, not a struggle, dude. I am boned up.
I am. There's only we ended on Smurfs. We're gonna go on Care Bears. We'll finish the stupid Care Bears, and we'll get into whenever me and Pete decide to do this again. We will get into the Gary Greenwald Halloween special.
We got to get in the whole universe of Gary Greenwald. I want to find out if he's still active. If we can reach out,
He's still around. He's still out there.
dude. Let's do it. I'll harass him via email. I'll be like, let's talk.
Absolutely. And I want to thank everyone for hanging out tonight. Oh, and I've gone an entire episode without saying, hit the like button. What are you even doing? Why are you here? Hit the like button. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you, everyone, for supporting Unbelievers Podcast. And make sure to go support Pete at Dark Sayings on YouTube.
Don't even bother. I don't post anything anymore.
Shut up. Go support Dark Sayings. He's lying. This is the deception of the new generation.
I am deceiving everybody. I make obscene gestures in the mirror and I record it for your pleasure.
First off, how dare you? And I want to thank Squidhead from Star Wars,
Squidhead,
and Trans ET, and everybody. And I want to say thank you, everyone, for hanging out tonight. We're gonna get out of here, and good night. And here's the song. Oh, here we go. All right, thanks everybody. Appreciate you guys. Come on.
Oh, that's impossible, you said. I was just trying to get that song out of my head. Never made me cry, and everyone is sleeping. But everyone's at lunch. Everything is beautiful, and everything just sucks. Well, I was happy in a world of wishful thinking and outright lies. But everybody dies. Everybody dies. Oh, everybody dies. Everybody, everybody. Everybody, everybody. Oh, this is doing in my head now. I was just asking.
Yes, Preston.
Who else was dancing
Waiting.
at that party where
You.
last you can ask yourself to calm it and sink your feet in mud. Close your eyes to hear black flowers, count all your good luck. But I was happy in a world of wishful thinking and outright lies. But I'm beginning to think everybody dies. Everybody dies. Oh, everybody dies. Everybody, everybody. Everybody, everybody. Oh,
Discontinue. Discontinue.